Hello everyone, I'm down in Kilnsea today. We're going to go look at a sound mirror. Now, for those of you that don't know, a sound mirror was a predecessor to radar, and what we did was to build a big concrete structure, and they'd have a spherical concave arc on it, and then they put a microphone below it, and you could set the microphone up to listen out on the North Sea for enemy aircraft coming. But the aircraft were getting quicker and quicker by the start of the Second World War, and with the advent of radar, the sound mirrors became obsolete very quickly, and some of them were built but never even used. There's about 5 in the UK, but other than that there's 1 in Malta, I believe, and that's it for the entire world. But there's one over there that we're going to go look at today. I've got Exploring Dave with me. Morning! And we're out for a nice walk. We're just going to have a look in this bird watching hut. We're down near some wetlands. There's some tweety birds. It reminds me of being on a range.
Yeah.
Oh. Let's have a look out of this little window and see what we can see. A bit overexposed. There's some, well, I suppose that's why they call it the wetlands, because it's very wet. As you can tell, I don't usually do wildlife photography, so do you do a bit of wildlife, Dave, or?
I watch a different type of bird.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah.
There we go. I'll leave it all presentable. Nice little windows there, look. Cut outs. Well, yeah, we'll leave that as we found it and carry on with our explore, because we are going over there to see that on the, just on the horizon. That is the sound mirror that we're going to go look at today. Just taking a wander over to it. There it is. I hope you're all safe at home. There's a current situation in China that's developing with a virus. I don't know if it'll end up here or not, but hopefully it won't. But with things like that, it's just personal hygiene and washing hands should hopefully prevent it. But back to military exploration. There is our sound mirror. From what I can find, there isn't any listed status for this mirror, so I don't know how long it's going to be here for. So we go around the front, Dave.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're being watched by people. You know when you get the feeling you're being watched? I've got that feeling now. So we're going to try and not go on any fields as best we can. We're nearly there. Here we are. One sound mirror. Now this actually dates back to the First World War. A lot of them have a bunker underneath, but I don't know if this one does. A lot of the ones down in Kent have got a little bunker underneath that where the sound recordists were, but this one, I believe, just at the ground level. Let's go have a look. This fence has fallen down, so we're not stamping on any crops as such. These are just like wild plants, so we're just walking around them, not squashing any of them. See, I'm actually standing around everything, so I'm not squashing these plants, whatever they are, for the plant enthusiasts. But here we are. Right into this, Dave.
Well, it's big and it's concrete. And like Andy says, it's just like a concrete parabolic dish that collects the sound and focuses it to where the microphone would have been stood on the pole.
And that's this pole here. See that metal pole in front of the dish itself. I've seen on Google Earth that there's a little stile around the back so we can climb over this fence and get in. It's quite a structure. I don't know if a lumps fell off it or if that's just a random stone. Here we are. Can you hear anything, Dave?
You can hear a Zeppelin.
A Zeppelin?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if there's bunkers underneath this or not.
I've no idea. There's very little on the internet about it.
There is, isn't there? I know the ones in Kent have got a bunker underneath. Now, this has got a lot of random lumps of concrete that aren't from this area. Just like dotted about, big lumps. I don't know what they're from, because this is intact. Can you hear me, Dave?
I can hear you perfectly. Just to get an idea of how big it is.
Yeah.
I'm not very tall, I'm only 5'4", but just gives you an idea of the size of the structure.
Yeah.
It's surprising just standing here how much you can hear from the seaward side.
From over there, because this was pointing at the North Sea, and it was designed for in the First World War. It was designed for the Zeppelins coming over, so it could hear them, because they had noisy engines. A lot of them were two-stroke, so it was like ba 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 ba, and this picked it up into the mic, and away it went to the listeners. And there we go. Just got a bit of information up on this sound mirror. It was completed in 1918 at the end of the First World War, because during that time there was 8 air raids by Zeppelins coming over from Germany, which sadly killed 52 people. This was built just near the end of the First World War, and yeah, it could pick the Zeppelins up because they only travelled slowly. It could hear them, but faster attack aircraft of the Second World War were too quick. By the time you could hear it and it'd been sensed, they're on top of you, you know, because a Zeppelin would do maybe 20 or 30 knots, or a bit more with a tailwind, but an attack aircraft from the 40s would do 200, 250 knots. So they're just on top of you, and these became obsolete very quickly, although they were still used in the Second World War as like a backup to the radar.
And that bit there.
Yeah, Dave's just noticed that it's had some repairs done at some point, so it has been maintained by somebody, and that looks quite recent. It doesn't look particularly old, does it?
No.
It's had little bits of patchwork done to it. But you can see where the salt from the sea is attacking the concrete. So it's going in, and it's going in when it's wet and coming out in the dry, like pulling out. It's got little cracks, but it's in good condition considering its age.
Yeah. I hope I'm that good at condition when I was old.
Yeah, me too, mate. Me too. No. We're just looking at the pole here. This would have had the microphone on it. I mean, it's very rotten now. But down there, down the actual hole, that will have led down into a little bunker. There would have been a bunker under here. You can still see the outline of it, but I believe it's filled in. We've been looking, but it appears to be filled in, and there's all lumps of concrete on top. So that is the forgotten bunker. It's probably very unsafe, and you've got probably 150 tonne of concrete on top, so if anybody's thinking of trying to dig for it, I'd advise not to, because it's unsafe. There we go. That is Kilnsea Sound Mirror.
I'm wondering if it's a wildlife trust or farm.
There was a Yorkshire Wildlife Trust sign back there,
Right.
so I wonder if they took it on.
Possibly.
If it is Yorkshire Wildlife Trust, hats off to you guys, because you're preserving military history, which isn't really what you guys do. But thank you so much for that.